Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope you people are doing good in your home. Students, as you people are actively participating in WebEx classes, just be active in this video classes also, okay? And as well as you all have to read your books also, okay? You have to go through every line, okay? You have to understand the concept. If you're not getting, you can ask me, okay? Because though already the chapters are like reduced, so whatever is now after the updated syllabus, whatever the chapters are there in all the four subjects, that is history, geography, political science and economics, you have to prepare it properly, okay? So students, we were discussing the history chapter, that is nationalism in India. In that we have discussed the three topics, and we have discussed about the question answers, like what objective type of questions can be framed from that topics. Today we will discuss about the civil disobedience movement participation groups. Okay, so who all have participated in this movement, that is the civil disobedience movement, we will discuss about it. Okay, so for that, let's just see the video.
Mahatma Gandhi started a famous salt march to Dandi when his 11-point demand failed to meet with any positive response from the British authorities.
Yes, so before this we have already discussed about the Dandi March, okay. So that was done in the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. So what all 11 demands were there, but it was like no demands were fulfilled, so it was like a failure. So what were the demands? So it was the abolition of salt tax, reduction of land revenue, reduction of military expenses, reduction of the salaries of the high officials, protective duty on foreign cloth, reduction of coastal shippings to Indian ships, release of political prisoners, abolition of CID, issue of licenses for self-defense, permission to all Indian exiles to return home, total prohibition. So these are the 11 demands which were like put in front of the Britishers, but they have not passed anyone, so it was like a failure. So let's just see what are the other details.
On April 6th, he reached Dandi and ceremonially violated the law when he manufactured salt by boiling seawater.
So on 6th April 1930, Gandhiji violated the salt tax law. Okay, so this date you need to remember.
This marked the beginning of the civil disobedience movement. This movement was significant as people from different sections of society joined in and raised their voice against the oppressive colonial laws. Let us learn about the different groups that participated in this movement and the reasons why they joined this movement.
So that was the when Dandi March was there, and Gandhiji has violated the salt tax law. So that was the beginning of the civil disobedience movement. Now we will discuss that who all are the participants who were like took actively participation in this movement. So let's just see who all were there.
The different social groups that participated in the civil disobedience movement can largely be divided into three groups: the peasants, the business class or industrialists, and women.
Yes, students. So here you can see that the participation of the movements, basically it was divided into three categories. So you have to note it down likewise only in your notebooks also. Okay, so the participations were done in three categories. The first one is like peasant. In peasant also there are two categories, that is the rich and the poor. Okay, then there is the next category, that is the business class or industrialist, and the third category is women. So basically three broad participation groups were there, that was the peasants, business class or industrialists, and the women. And in peasant there are the two subcategories, that is the rich and poor.
The rich peasant communities, like the Patidars of Gujarat and the Jats of Uttar Pradesh, who were largely producers of commercial crops, were badly hit by the depression in trade and falling prices. This led to a drop in their cash income. As a result, they found it impossible to pay the government's revenue demand. In this situation, the refusal of the government to reduce the revenue demands led to widespread resentment. As a result, these rich peasants became enthusiastic supporters of the civil disobedience movement.
So the first one is what peasants who were like rich who are like the Uttar Pradesh Jats and the Patidars of Gujarat. Okay, these categories of people were considered as rich peoples, but because of the global depression that took place in 1929 to 30, okay, that was the Great Depression phase. Before that also we have discussed about the Great Depression phase. Okay, so when the situation in economy is recession or depression, what happened, that the flow of money supply is not there in the economy. People are not having jobs, as well as if they are not having jobs, so they are not having any income. Okay, so because of that, what happened, there all the working things, okay, were like disturbed. So they were also businessmen and they were like the producers of the different products. So what happened, that their profits are also decreasing. So because of the loss in their businesses, now they are not able to pay the taxes which were like decided to collect from this people, okay, from the Britishers. So Britishers have refused the appeal also that the peasants have applied for, that for this year let this whatever the taxes and the imposition of the different taxes were imposed on them, they all will get excused from that. But Britishers have denied from this. They wanted the money anyhow, let the people get suffered. So because of such kind of attitude, the rich peasants were like in an angry mood, and they all have like decided to take actively participation in this civil disobedience movement. So this was the reason of the participation of the rich peasants. Okay.
For them, the fight for Swaraj was a struggle against high revenue demanded by the government. But they were deeply disappointed when the movement was called off in 1931 without the revenue rates being revised.
So what happened, that in 1931, what happened, that they all people, the rich peasants were got disappointed because the movement was called off, and they were having the hope that the revenue rates will be like more for them, but the tax will be like they will pay a less tax. But this all things have not happened. Why this movement has called off? Because of the violence took place in the different parts of our country, and because of that Gandhiji has called off this movement. So this is the reason.
So when the movement was restarted in 1932, many of them refused to participate. Owing to the depression, cash incomes of small peasants too had fallen. These poorer peasants were not only interested in the lowering of taxes by the government, but wanted that the unpaid rent that needed to be paid to the landlord be pardoned. joined a variety of radical movements, often led by socialists and communists. They even started the No Rent campaign, apprehensive of raising issues that might upset the rich peasants and landlords. The Congress was unwilling to support no rent campaigns in most places. So, the relationship between the poor peasants and the Congress remained uncertain. The business class was keen on expanding their business. However, the colonial policies were not in their favor. The business class wanted protection against imports of foreign goods and a favorable rupee-sterling foreign exchange ratio that would discourage imports.
Yes, so before that, we have discussed, listen here, about the situation of the poor peasants. So they have to pay different kinds of rent. So because they were also not having money and the recession is there for everyone. So because of this all, exploitation, the poor peasants have also actively participated. Now the second group is who? That is the business class people. So the business class people where wanted a protection against the foreign imports. That means what? That if we are producing something in our country, okay, and if some products come from abroad, from other countries, and it is of cheaper rate, of course the products will be sell more of the imported one rather than of us, because all the consumer want the goods in a cheap price. Okay, so that is why they wanted a protection against imports, and they want a favorable rupee foreign exchange ratio. That means what? That right now $1 is equal to something about 80 rupees, and it used to get fluctuated. So that time whatever the price of dollar is there instead of the rupees, okay, so that has to get stable, so that they can also feel stable, and if there is any business coming, so they will also do a good business. Okay, so likewise the business class are having problems related to the stability of their business. Okay,
In order to better their business interests, they formed the Indian Industrial and Commercial Congress in 1920 and the Federation of the Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industries, FICCI, in 1927.
so these things, students, what happened that the Congress was not supporting so much the business class people, so they all have made some committees. So here first one is Indian Industrial and Commercial Congress, that is 1920 they have formed, and the another one is still existing, that is FICCI. What is the full form of FICCI? So it is the Federation of the Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, that has gone formed in 1927. Okay, so this all organizations were there, so that under that all the business things will go in a smooth manner, and they all will feel safe and secure while doing the business, because there are some norms which were like decided under this all organization. Okay,
The industrialists attacked colonial control over the Indian economy and supported the civil disobedience movement. They gave financial assistance and refused to buy or sell imported goods. In their view, Swaraj meant a time when colonial restrictions on business would no longer exist and trade and industry would flourish without constraints.
yes, students. So what happened that why the industrialists or the business class have supported this movement, civil disobedience movement, because they have attacked colonial control over the Indian economy. They have supported financially to assist this movement, and they refuse to buy or sell any imported goods, because the imported goods they were finding a challenge to sell more and more of their goods because the rate differences were high. The imported goods were actually cheaper in compared to the domestic goods. So what happened actually, how they have did that?
Imported goods. In their view, Swaraj meant a time when colonial restrictions on business would no longer exist and trade and industry would flourish.
Yes, so according to them, what is Swaraj for them? So for them, Swaraj is a colonial restriction on business would no longer exist. This was our first demand, that the Britishers will not found or impose any restrictions on their businesses, and as well as the trade and industry would flourish without any constraints. Constraints are the obstacles which were like imposed by the Britishers. So basically business class people wanted a smooth functioning of their business in India, okay, without any imposition of any kind of restriction from Britishers, any barriers or no high kind of any taxes, as well as the import goods should also not come. That were the intention which has given them an hope that if they will support the movement, they will get this all facilities. Okay.
Without constraints. But after the failure of the second round table conference, business groups were no longer uniformly enthusiastic.
Yes, so we have also discussed about the second round table conference, which were like in which the Gandhiji has attended with a very positive hope, but it was like a failure. So what happened that after the failure of this second round table conference, the business class are like no more hopeful for their any kind of expectation from this movement. Okay.
The industrial working class did not participate in the civil disobedience movement in large numbers except in the Nagpur region. Their participation in boycott of British goods was as a part of their own movement against low wages and poor working conditions. Some examples of their agitation included strikes by railway workers in 1930 and dock workers in 1932.
So apart from that, now what happened that after the failure of the second round conference, what happened is the people of the business class were not actively participating, but the place of Nagpur, there it was the good response where like came, and apart from that, you all have like participated and what they have done. So railway workers have did a strike in 1930, and the doctor workers were also like strike in 1932 because of the low wages and not a good working environment was there.
In 1930, thousands of workers in Chota Nagpur tin mines wore Gandhi caps and participated in protest rallies and boycott campaigns. But the Congress was reluctant to include workers' demands as part of its program of struggle. It felt that this would alienate industrialists and divide the anti-imperial forces. Another important feature of the civil disobedience movement was the large-scale participation of women. In urban areas, these women were from high-caste families. In rural areas, they came from rich peasant households. During Gandhiji's Salt March, thousands of women came out of their homes to listen to him, and many joined him in his march to Dandi. They participated in protest marches, manufactured salt, and picketed foreign cloth and liquor shops. Many even went to jail.
So the third participation group was the women class. Okay, the women have also actively participated participated in the civil disobedience movement, and apart from that they have also actively participated in the Dandi March also leaded by the Gandhiji. Okay, so here now it is saying that women has participated in Dandi March. Women participated in protest marches, manufactured salt, picketed for cloth and liquor shops, and even went to jail. Why? Because they were also wanted a freedom from Britishers and the exploitation done by them. Okay, so women's participation is also a very important role played in this movement. Okay.
What is the significance of the Dandi March? Select the correct option and click Submit.
So as you have seen the video, now there are few questions. So first of all, it is asking what is the significance of the Dandi March. There are four options. The first one is it was an act of civil disobedience. The second one is it was a precursor to the non-cooperation movement. Third was it marked the entry of Gandhiji in the freedom struggle, or it laid the foundation of Action Day. So let's just see the answer that what is
The
right.
Dandi March was an act of civil disobedience to protest the British laws that were unfair to the masses.
Okay, so what is the significance of the Dandi March? It was that the Dandi March was an act of civil disobedience movement to protest the British laws that were unfair to the masses. Let's see the next question.
Why did the rich peasants support the civil disobedience movement? Select the correct option and click Submit.
Yes, students. So the next question is why did the rich peasants supported the civil disobedience movement? So we have just discussed about it. There are three options: wanted interest reduction on the rent, wanted to enjoy free trade, or wanted a reduction in revenue demands. So what will be the
The rich
answer?
peasants
Yes.
supported the civil disobedience movement as they wanted a reduction on revenue demands.
Yes, because they are not able to pay more revenue as they are facing losses in their business. So that is why the rich peasants have participated, because they wanted a reduction on the revenue demands. Okay. Next question, let's just see.
What were the factors that triggered Nagpur industry workers to participate in the civil disobedience movement? Select the correct option and click Submit.
Yes, so now the next question it is asking about what were the factors that triggered Nagpur industrial worker to participate in the civil disobedience movement. So let's just see the answer. What is there?
It was low wages and poor working conditions that drove the industrial workers in Nagpur to participate in the boycott of British goods.
Okay, so because of the low wages and poor working condition in Nagpur, the workers have participated and boycotted the British goods. Okay, let's see the next.
Why was the Congress reluctant to support poor peasants in their demands? Select the correct option and click Submit.
Now the next question is asking why was the Congress reluctant to support poor peasants in their demand? There are three options. Congress was unwilling to upset the rich peasants and landlords by supporting the no rent demand, or Congress did not concentrate on one section of the social demands at that time, or the third option is Congress did not believe that the demands of the poor peasants was valid. So which is the correct answer? Let's just see that.
Congress was unwilling to upset the rich peasants and landlords by supporting the no rent demand.
Okay, so the answer for why was the Congress reluctant to support poor peasants in their demands, because Congress was unwillingly to upset the rich peasant and landlords by supporting the no rent demand.
Here is a quick recap
today's topic, what all things we have discussed. So we have discussed about the participation groups of civil disobedience movement. So it is basically of three categories: the poor and the rich peasants, the business class, industrialists and working class, and the women's. In the first category, we have discussed that the poor and rich peasants joined the movement primarily to fight for their own reasons. The second one is rich peasants communities could not afford to meet the revenue demands of the British Raj due to the failing crops and depression. And the third point is the poor peasants want exemption from rent for the unpaid period and demanded a no rent campaign by joining hands with the socialists and communists. Okay, so this is the first one, the first group's reason why they have participated. Now the business class, why they have participated. So they wanted expansion and favorable foreign exchange ratio to discourage import of foreign goods. They wanted, because of this all things, now they have made a Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industries, that is FICCI, that was got set up. Now they have gave financial assistance to the movement and boycotted buying and selling of British goods. And the last one is your section of the working class joining the movement to protest against low wages and poor working conditions. So these are the reasons why the business class and the industrialists and the working class have participated in this civil disobedience movement. The last part is of the third participant groups is women's. Women have participated in a large number from both the urban and rural sections of the country. They all have got inspired by Gandhiji and they have participated wholeheartedly in the Dandi March, and there were several women who went to jail. Okay, so this is all about what we have discussed. So summary is given, likewise only you all have to also write. Okay, likewise only the things should be there in your notebook. You should read it properly. Okay, so this topic is like over here, civil disobedience, participation groups we have discussed. The next topic we will discuss in the next video, in the next class. For till that time, take care of yourself and please study properly in your home, utilize your time, do best, okay, and try to give me a good result while you are having plenty of time for preparing. So please read all the things very carefully. So for today's session, this much only. Thank you, class.